Did you see this picture, Bert?
So whose album was that?
This is mine. This is the one Mother had kept for me.
So what was this? 312 Joliet?
Yeah. That place is gone.
And where'd you sell shoes?
Livingston Shoe Store on Last Chance Gulch. That was my senior year, high school. And that's what I did. Let's see. Here's the Missoula Sentinel. I'm in here somewhere. Oh, second place winners. Chuck Padbury, Chuck Padberg, Helena. Oratorical declamation. I got a silver on that one.
What was it for?
Oratorical declamation. It's just reciting from memory some oratorical thing. I did that because Kate Ramey said, Charles, you need to get in on this, and she was my buddy. She wanted me to do this and that and everything. So I said, okay, Mrs. Ramey, I'll do that.
What was she here?
She was an English teacher. Now this person, see this person here?
Mm-hmm.
She was Sherry Longmaid. She's now a grandmother, has about 15 grandchildren. She lives in Springville, is it Springville? Pleasant Grove, Utah. She called me up and identified herself, and I said, you know, I think I've got a picture of you and me sitting on this rock up above
Is this you?
Unionville. That's me, yeah. And quite truthfully, I'm a little embarrassed because this little girl sitting next to me has only a diaper on, I think. When I was just mortified that this pornography. There's Merce and I when they're up above Helena. Let's see, I'm in one. I took his picture and he took mine. We were up shooting 22s up above there. This is my great Aunt Clara. Aunt Clara was the younger sister of my grandmother.
Great Aunt Clara was the younger sister of your grandmother. All right.
That's why she was my great aunt. She's a sister of your grandmother then.
Aunt Clara got her name.
That's exactly right. That's where Clara got her name. Oh, and this is the same thing, only this is the Empire Mine. This is burned down now, but years ago, not that many years ago, but a few years ago, I took a picture of this because it looks so much like this one. See, they're almost same on the things, built on a hillside.
Mm-hmm.
But the stuff goes in here, it's stamped, and then it gets finer, and it goes through another stamping down here, and down at the bottom, there's cyanide vats and things that they come out, and then the stuff goes, they just pumped it in the creek and down the stream, and about 3 or 4 miles down from this thing in Marysville, there's these big white, you've probably seen those big white dam and all that white stuff that's alongside the river there, alongside that creek. And I had this, she talks about the Shannon mine here. I had no idea what the Shannon mine was. Doesn't even look like anything I know.
What do you mean it went down the creek and did what?
Well, it just, was a pollution. The creek was polluted.
Mm-hmm.
And they finally dammed it up and got the
Just
thing
made a
drained
settling
out.
pond?
Yeah, the settling pond basically is what it is. They're big white things now. Apparently, supposedly there's a little bit of gold in those ponds.
And what did your dad do?
Well, he worked as a millman in one of these kind of things. And then when 1914 came along, World War I, got drafted. That's a picture of him in his army uniform downstairs and thing. And when he came back, he got on he didn't want to do the mines anymore. I think it was all kind of, he'd been shot 3 or 4 times, and he'd been gassed a couple of times. And he got a job with a Montana power company, and he ran the Belmont substation up above Marysville. And a couple of times when I was a little guy, 10, 11, 12, somewhere in there, went up and spent a couple of winters with him. Summers, not winters, summers. Summers are pretty good in Marysville, but maybe not the winters. Maybe not the winters.
They got divorced at some point?
Yeah. Yeah, I was probably, mother moved out. She got sick of being under Marysville, so she moved out to Helena, lived up on 3rd. And somewhere between when I was 6 and 7 and 8, somewhere in there, they got divorced.
And your dad died of what?
Well, he died of mediastinal cancer. That's your mediastinum is the thing, that little thing that's between your 2 lungs in your chest that holds the heart and the gut. Your heart is in there, and your esophagus going down into your gut.
Okay.
Stomach. And he got some kind of cancer, and he got sicker and sicker, and finally it just killed him. What can you say about that? Miserable. He told me for 4 or 5 months I'm living on borrowed time, But he'd been, like I said, gassed, mustard gas in World War I,
Mm-hmm.
and that didn't help you out. And he got wounded 2 or 3 times. He said that one of his shoulders, I don't know if this is true or not, but he told me that one of his shoulders was wired together with silver wire. He was just kind of in sad shape, but he smoked like a chimney, and he didn't just smoke regular stuff. He used Bull Durham. He'd roll his own, and you might say, well, he swallowing all that nicotine in his esophagus, that might have killed him there, bumped him off.
So this is one of the.
She's one of the. I don't have Sister. I've got
Waters?
Sister Huey's, but I don't have Sister Waters' thing. I might have it somewhere, but I don't see it anymore.
And Sister Waters was how related?
She's one of them she's the daughter of the lady, and she said, I said, I'm going to go down to BYU, and she said, oh, well, you ought to stay at my mother's house. She'd love to have a nice person like you. Stayed there, and I think I gave her $40 a month, and she gave me room and breakfast, I think it was.
Where's the one that baptized you?
Well, this is the one of them.
Mm.
This is Sister Huey, and I don't have Sister Waters. Thing. Sister Waters and Huey are the ones that finally got me baptized.
Was your mom baptized before you?
Oh yes, they were baptized years before me. I was a member of the Church of Christ, and I was thinking this was crazy. I didn't want to live that. Finally, they got me to. They finally said it, told me enough. I finally got through my pointy head, so that's what I did.
And how old were you then?
Oh, let's see. I was about a year. Where was I? Was I freshman, sophomore in high school? Something like that. No. I think maybe I was a junior by then. Wow.
So you were a junior in high school? And how long ago had your mom joined?
Oh, she was probably when I was 3 or 4 years before that.
Because I thought you'd only been a member like 2 years before you left on your mission.
I think that's right. 2 years. Yeah, I think that's right. 2 years. So if I left on my mission in 58, it would have been probably 56.
So you and your mom were at the Church of Christ?
No, Mother was never in the Church of Christ.
Why were you in the Church of Christ?
I was there because this old guy named Joe Kroll, Crowell, he lived in Marysville, and he did magic tricks. And he used to do magic tricks, and they had, this Church of Christ had a summer Bible school, and in fact, I got a picture of me at that summer Bible school. Anyway, Joe Kroll lived around the corner now. He moved in from Marysville, and he was the magician, and he had a wonderful presentation. He had all these silks, and he spent hundreds of dollars on these silks, and of course a magician uses silks or like nylon because you can pack them down.
Right,
And
into
get 'em
the
in.
thumb thing or whatever.
Yeah, and he'd do all this stuff, and every time I remember going over to see him in Marysville when I was a little kid, and he'd do his magic tricks for me. He'd do that trick where you put a dime through a hanky.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you know that one I do that
That's not great.
yeah. Well, that's probably not a good negative.
Yeah, you stick it in there and then you turn it upside down
Yeah.
kind of, and then
And
you
I shake
gotta
it down
twist
and
it.
then twist it through, and there it pops out. He did that, and
You were just blown away.
Yeah, it's magic, you know. And so when I heard that he was going to be in town, I went to this thing, and then I ended up going to the vacation Bible school. It was a great thing, and so that's what happened. I was going to that, and of course they were the only true church, Church of Christ, because they weren't like these Protestants, Luther and all these people. They all worshiped Luther, they worshiped the other thing. They didn't worship Christ, so if they did, they couldn't call it the Church of Christ. But
I just think it's interesting that I guess you were interested enough in religion at that age when most kids at that age really aren't that interested, that when your mom converted to something else, you were like, no way.
Yeah.
That's something.
In fact, the missionaries used to come, and the Church of Christ would come and debate in our house. The missionaries, the brethren.
Really?
Some elders. And, oh man, that was heated. They go on forever, and nobody converted anybody, of course.
Of course not. You don't do that in a heated exchange.
No. But I didn't. The guys did I was kind of impressed with them. And of course, two girls weren't gonna stand it. And they came and talked to me, and I thought, oh, well, they're nice people. And so I kind of listened to them a little bit, and they started doing, well, if this is true, then that's true, yes. And if that's true and that's true, then this must be true. Well, yeah, if that's true and that's true. They did that thing, and finally they said, so there should have been a prophet on the earth. And, well, yeah, because God speaks to his children through the prophets. And they finally had me, and they had me. And I said, oh, well, when are you going to get baptized? Well, okay. So that's what I did.
Oh, man. Huh.
Now, see, these are really a long ways apart. I was just a little kid here. Here's high school, and here's Arlen Waters on the Y up on the mountain on Y Mountain in Provo.
That's Arlen Waters.
Arlen Waters up there.
And that's
the mountain. That's the big Y on the mountain.
Is he the brother or the husband of
He's the little brother of Sister Waters. And Arlen must be dead now, because we tried to find him, and he doesn't come up in any of the databases now. So that was a long time ago.
When did Sister Missionary start going out? That's been like forever then, apparently.
Yeah. Well, that was 40. Well, maybe it was 50, 49, 50, something like that. Yeah, it was a long time ago.
That's interesting.
I'm not sure.
I had no idea, but I just would have, if somebody would have asked me.
I don't know where. I had a picture of Sister Waters, but she told me this. I was getting there coming to college, and she said, well, if you want to go to BYU, and I said, I do, and she said, yes, you do. And my folks, if you go there, you can live with my folks. My mother will rent you a room there. And I used to eat dinner somewhere at the Cougar Eat at campus. And then sometimes I would go out to a burger joint or something for supper. So I almost never had supper there. Maybe occasionally I had a few suppers. So
bed and breakfast. So that's your pen pal.
Yeah, that's Lisa Gutman. I didn't really spend more than one or two letters back and forth. It was back in like the 7th grade, maybe 6th grade, 7th grade. And right after the war, they had this project. We're going to send clothes to these people in Germany because they didn't have anything. The Germans were totally devastated. The place was just a total wreck. We sent her a whole bunch of stuff. It was a big project for our class, and we were sending them these mittens, but these mittens weren't even lined or nothing. They were just dumb things, and they just took a couple pieces of felt or wool and made a thing and put a little thing on. And I'm about the only one that got anything back in that whole class for that.
Really?
So, and the clothes she's wearing are from Wanda.
Really?
But Wanda didn't go to Central School. She was going to Bryant. If I remember right, that was kind of a dark red and a kind of a pink. I think that's what that was. I think it was. The skirt is corduroy, Because I remember packing it up. And there's a bunch of stuff. But what it was supposed to do, all we were doing was we had done some mittens for him. But Wanda had these clothes, and she thought that would be great. And so we put this stuff in the thing, and we sent it to Elizabeth Gutman, as it says on the back there. And she was just, I didn't expect anything back from her. She wrote this thing, and I may have responded to that. I don't remember doing it. But
So those were Wanda's clothes?
yeah, that was Wanda's clothes.
And here you are out hunting or something?
Yeah, I think that's just south of Helena, up on the hill that Mertz and I used to come to our house up on Joliet in the south end of town, climb up that hill to the top of the reservoir, and then follow a path that actually was over the top of the pipe that came down the canyon going to that reservoir. It was a nice straight path, and we could go along because it was. And then when it came to a little gully, it had a little bridge, and you could see the pipe under. Otherwise, you just think you're on this path. But when you came to this gully, here's a thing going underneath it, and it filled that reservoir. Anyway, we'd go up there and shoot stuff and birds or something. Now this one here, I got a feeling that was taken in some place in California. That's me, and then there's David Dale on this side. I'm not sure who this kid is. I think he was a friend of Dave's. We were down there. It might have been when I was like my senior year, when I went down to 2 weeks in boot camp. In fact, that's what it was. That's his cousin that lives in Alhambra, California. And we went to boot camp, and then we came back and we were fooling around someplace where this was the thing. We took the picture and put the hats on.
So this was Navy?
This was Naval Reserve.
Naval Reserve.
And well, it was a Navy facility, and they put you 2 weeks in boot camp at Treasure Island in San Francisco, or maybe not. No. A boot camp would have been down in San Diego. That's right. It was San Diego, and it was David's cousin, and we went there, and David was there and just had a blast. The 2 weeks I was in boot. Then I got out. We stayed another week, and then if I remember right, we drove his old Kaiser back up to Montana. If I remember right, it was the worst car it ever was, because something would go wrong with it about every 100 miles. Yeah, terrible that old thing. But hey, we put gas in it, and we had to, I don't know, it seems like always something was going on. And most of the instruments on it didn't work. Almost nothing worked on it. The Kaiser was a terrible car. It looked good from the outside. Looked like a nice car, but inside it was a piece of garbage.
Was it German or something?
No. Henry J. Kaiser. Kaiser during the war, he's the one that built these ships over here. And over here, just a little factoid, this Kaiser, village over here, Marlene Village, a lot of the executives lived in Marlene Village, went over the hill, and not the workers. That was a little higher, that was better quality. But
Marlene Village?
Marlene Village was where there's people, the executives lived in that worked in Kaiser.
So what were these? This was a
this is the Vigilante Parade that they have every year in Helena. The high school has it, and what you do, this is downtown Helena. This is 6th and Main. 6 comes across, and right here is the Livingston Shoe Stores. See, his sister Huey. 53. There you go. That's when I go. Yeah, right there. And I think this is me, and this is probably one of my friends who moved down to Arkansas. I think it was Boer. Boher. Boer. So anyway,
Livingston's was right there on the corner.
Yeah. That was a big thing in Helena. They still have the Vigilante Parade.
How'd you get away with dressing up as a woman?
How did I get away with it?
they
I
like-
think I got the short straw.
Didn't they burn people at the stake for that kind of stuff?
Well, they would, but what is it? The one who really won the West. And it was a tribute to a pioneer mother, because I'm wearing a bonnet and a long.
Except they had a dude doing it.
And we couldn't get a girl, and I didn't want to.
They
do
wouldn't
it.
ride a float.
She did well. Everybody in school had their own things, and we just came in a little bit late, and so that's what we did. And they said, Padbury, get up there. And I said, I don't want to do it. They said, you're going to do it. And what we did, we went up to Unionville, which is up the road. We filled the thing with dirt from Unionville, and then we dug up some sod and put on over the top of the dirt, and that's what I stood on. And I think,
How did you stand there? The truck moving.
well, I had a long skirt, so I could stand 1 foot ahead of the other one, so I could kind of balance myself. I'm sure I stumbled around up there sometimes. Anyway, here's a little side thing. I just remembered this. We went up to Unionville, and we dug up some old yard or something and filled that thing full of dirt. Then we took the sod off the stuff and put it on there, and that's what we had. That's what they had. When we were done, I think he sold it to somebody, the dirt and the sod, after it was over.
So Unionville was like another town?
Yeah, Union goes up about 5 miles just south of town, it's up in there. That other thing is the street, right? That's the site of Mount Timpanogos from downtown Provo. It was kind of paved, but it was more of a gravel. And there's me at Christmas morning. I got something I liked. I don't know what it was. I had a grin. There's Mertz. That's when we're going out hunting. It's maybe the same time we went out on that. This kid over here.
This is Helena, right?
Yeah, that's in Joliet. This is what was heating my room. It was a gas-fired thing, but I had a chimney going up. This is a kid, Richard Byrd, B-Y-R-D. He came up from Arkansas, and he moved back to Arkansas afterwards. So.
And he was just at high school or something?
Yeah, it could have been 8th grade, could have been high school. I don't know, somewhere along. I think maybe it's high school.
This girl, is she a cousin of yours or just somebody?
No, she is a second cousin. Her grandmother is my grandmother's sister. She's the grandchild of my great aunt. See, I always called her Aunt Clara, but she was my mother's Aunt Clara, and so I called her Aunt Clara. Clara Longmaid, and she lived on Blake Street, and we lived just about 2 houses up and the next street over, and that was 3rd. So I lived in 3rd, and across the street was Aunt Clara and Johnny. Aunt Clara and Johnny Longmaid, and this was their daughter, and her mother was kind of a crazy, and I think she didn't exactly abandon her, but she may have left her for years and years there. But they were members of the church. She's become a member of the church now. She's a grandma. She's a little old lady, and I got some pictures of her somewhere. She sent me some cards, and I said, well, the thing I remember about you, Sherry, is I'm sitting on a rock in a swimsuit. She says, I have that same picture.
Oh, that's
I
funny.
was a little embarrassed because she's wearing a diaper and she's bare-breasted. Although she's 3.
She's like 3 years
And
old.
you see, I got this kind of mortified look on my face, like, why am I sitting here?
Next to a naked.
Yeah, next to this naked girl.
Oh.
Anyway, that's Mertz. We had 22s. We were up there south of town. We'd go up hiking along that road and up high. And that's where we went up and went through some of those mines up in there. We went into some mines, and I remember we ran into a pack rat. Was it a pack rat? It was a rat. Stuck his nose out looking at me like this, and I let out a scream and went down the thing, and Mertz pulled off a couple of shots, and I thought to myself, this could be
This was
short
in a
and
mine?
Yeah, it's in a mine shaft.
And he's shooting?
Yeah, he's shooting a mine shaft. Well, we had guns, shooting mine
Yeah,
shafts.
well, bullets could ricochet.
Yeah, he could. Yeah. Anyway, that's probably the type of thing we'd do. This is fun. This is an old thing like you'd see they'd use to move heavy equipment. You know, it's a kind of a little tractor deal. We've put this thing at last chance or burst. Instead of bust, we did last chance or burst. And this is a little cardboard cutout of a horse or something. And there's two guys in there, and that's what we used. This, I didn't know these people. I thought this was just kind of a nice thing for things. Here's the boy selling shoes at Livingston's. This is David Dale, Chuck Padbury, and Larry Borsberry, and we're singing "Brush Up Your Shakespeare." I think we're seniors at this time. We're wearing white pants and vests and everything, and brush up your Shakespeare, and the women you will wow. If you can't be a ham and do Hamlet, then they won't give a damn or a damnlet. So brush up your Shakespeare, and the ladies you will wow. It's from one of those Broadway shows, and one of the gals had it. And so we had this what do you call it, a talent contest. We're pretty good singers. We were in choir for a while, and we were singing along and having a dandy time with it. That's me, early picture. This is up in the lit front room on 312 Joliet on the street. We had a lawn. You can see what a pretty fancy. This is a big old abandoned house, a two-story brick house. And incidentally, I have a book of old. It's pictures of Helena, and it shows this house from up on top of the hill looking down, and you can see the house that we live in, and it's just a little thing. But this has all been urban renewal. That's gone. It's gone. I mean, it's gone. So that there is me on my bicycle, and we're up at 10 Mile Creek going up to Remini. 10 Mile is, that's the road coming in from Missoula. You cross over McDonald, you come down, and you get down to the bottom of that, and 10 Mile comes in. And Remini was kind of, what would you call it? Well, during the war, Remini, they trained dogs up at Remini. It started off as a mine area. I went up there and panned for gold up there, and I got one little tiny flake of gold. I wasn't that good of a thing, but we went. It's 10 miles. We went about 10 miles up there, and we went into the wind, and I thought it was going to kill me getting up there. But coming back, we had the wind at our back, and we just sailed into Helena. A little bit downhill because it was going in on the 10 Mile Creek. It goes by State Nursery and the old Broadwater Plunge, and then it takes off and goes straight over and hits to Lake Helena, drains into that. But that's
what the cameras look like back then? Were they big?
The what?
The cameras?
Oh, Mother had a box camera. It was about this big. Pull the thing down, click.
Yeah.
Click. Yeah. And that's fun stuff. I think this is Aunt Jessie, and I think she's just had Wanda. I think this is Wanda here. I think that's what that is. But anyway, she's up. That's on the front, her front porch in Marysville. You can see it's all wood. I don't think any of that stuff was ever painted. Might have been painted a little bit, but not much. Paint wore off. Oh, here's one. Okay. This is that same Sherry. We're down on 301 Helena Avenue, and this is Robin Hedblum. She's an old girl from. She didn't live in Helena anymore. She was visiting there, and here look at skinny. Look at that. I am just as skinny as you can believe. And we're smelling some daffodils. It's springtime. There's Sherry Longbloom. Longbloom? I want to say that. I don't know. I think that's. And that's Robin somebody, and she lived in. I'm not sure who that is. That looks like an old Marysville picture, so I don't really know who it was. This is my great aunt Clara. Probably the one that Clara Ann is named for. And who these people are, I don't know. This is Mother, and this may be me, but Mother looks so young here. This is probably George. And this is somebody, I don't know who this is, but this is Aunt Lottie, and this is her daughter. This is the one who refused to take any money from Wanda's estate. Aunt Lottie married Chuck Rector. And Chuck Rector worked for many things, but he worked for the Forest Service. And when I came to Portland, Mother said, "You got to see my sister Lottie." So we went and saw her, and she was delighted to see us. And we talked to her husband, Chuck, and I said, I said something about, "What are you doing?" He said, "I work for the Forest Service." And I said, and he asked me if I wanted a summer job, and I said, "Well, yeah." He got me a summer job. This is many years after this picture was taken. I'm a freshman in dental school. I got a summer job for that first year and the second year of high school, the 2 years, working up in Washington at the Gifford Pinchot National Forest, and that kept me in spending money. Boy, did I ever eat those years, eat like them. There's the funny thing. We're on our way back to Montana, and we've got Craig with us, and we've set up a little, that's one of the folding cribs, that they have.
A playpen?
Yeah. And Craig is in there, he's got a hold of 2 things, and he's jumping up and down, and he's just roaring. He's not crying, he's just roaring at us. And Uncle Charlie says, "He must be part Indian." And then he realized that we didn't know who Craig's mom or dad were. And he was so embarrassed. He's, And I thought, well, maybe he is part Indian. Because he was hollering and jumping. He was a rascal, a little guy. But that's Aunt Lottie, and she kind of disappeared out of Montana and went to Oregon, and she came back for stuff like this once or twice, but she didn't hardly come back. One time when we're on our way back to Montana, now she's moved she was living in Portland then, this is later on. Now she's living in Pendleton. And we went over there and she fed us nice fish, a rainbow. It was wonderful. And I saw her, I thought that she looked just exactly like Mother did, but she was 10 years younger than Mother. Lottie was her younger sister.
So Lottie's this lady here?
She's Mother's sister.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the girl in the dress
She'd be my cousin. Yep.
What's her name? You don't know?
Well, it's in that stuff that I can't remember what her name is.
Cool.
And this house here, this is our old house in Marysville. Here, this is the backyard, and this is the house Wanda lived in here, up here when we were little kids. You'll see some more of these. This is out in the front yard of our house, so this is maybe me or something. I don't know. I can tell you just because it's such a ratty place and all the dirt and stuff. Oh, here Auntie Lottie and Bonnie Grace. Bonnie, okay. Here's Aunt Clara Smiggy. Charles is in the front yard at Marysville. Okay, Claire Smiggy. And there's Clara Longmaid with Charles. Okay, Aunt Clara with Charles. That's her aunt. She's my great aunt.
Your mom's aunt. Okay.
My mother's aunt. And here's I think this is me. Mother had here we're out my dad is.
That's your dad?
He always had a cigarette in his mouth. And we're out there and going over the hill I think this is going over the hill down to Canyon Creek. And I think he's got a flower and Dad had me look at it. Anyway, this is a little old sled that they posed me in. And this was in the garage for a long time. It was an old red thing. It was kind of a rusty blue type of thing. But Mother had me in, boy, I wasn't going to get cold because that's Montana. You know what Montana's like in springtime.
Where's this, do you think?
I think that's probably over at Head Blooms, just around the corner in Marysville. If I had to guess, that's where I think it is. Do we see the other side?
Right near the little tracks around in the dirt. Oh, there it is. Robin and Mrs. Head Bloom.
Now, the Head Blooms were friends. Mother's friends. They weren't related to us. They were just really nice people, and they just had a lot to do with Mother, and they took a lot of pictures and things like that. So there it is. This is Anna Myrtle Diving. This is Anna Myrtle. And this might even be me. I don't know. I'm not sure. I really don't know who these people
Anna
are.
Myrtle Divig.
Divig. And this is the head blooms. And that's my dad. Yeah.
Roy.
Charles
Roy
and
Divig.
Hulda, Robin, Margaret, Headbloom, and Myrtle Divig. And this is Anna Myrtle.
So where's your dad up here?
He's here.
In the overalls?
Yeah, he got those bib overalls. I think this guy, maybe he worked possibly he worked for Montana Power. And this is Anna Myrtle with her mom, and that's a Divig. Yeah.
Mrs. Roy.
Yeah.
Hilda and Anna Myrtle.
Anna Myrtle.
Now, and where are they related to you?
They're not.
Oh, they're not.
I don't know.
They're just people.
They just lived around the street. Mother had something to do with it. Maybe they went to the same church. They're having a bath in a thing, and there's a thing. And this,
Birthday cake.
I think this is me, and this is Anna Myrtle, and again, her mother. I guess what is that? Is that a 1?
First birthday.
Yeah, there we go.
First birthday cake.
Yeah, well, it's June, Nice time to have that. Now, here are these. Let's see. That's probably me. This looks me. I'm a little older. I think I put
That's
the
her
stranglehold on a cat. Maybe this is me, and I don't know who these people are. I don't know. That probably is me.
Where's his house, or do you know?
This is our house in Marysville. This is probably somebody else's house. I think Mother followed us around to different places and took. Here's the snow. I think this might be the street out going down. Me putting the stranglehold on the king.
So you were in the front yard of your house, maybe?
Yeah.
In the snow?
Yeah, I think so.
Charles with our black cat.
Yeah,
You didn't name it?
beats me.
Black cat.
Here I am again. I think this is this a hole here? What is that?
No,
Or is
it's where he's splitting wood. It's the,
it's a wood
the
split
round
thing.
that
Yeah. Here's it. Here's the Christmas tree and some of the toys of that era. And these are
look at that hard clown.
Oh,
Multiple
yeah.
clowns. How awful.
yeah.
Somebody got a red wagon, though.
Yeah. This is Divigs, and this is this little coop they had. Anna Myrtle. She's a little younger there. That's me. I guess she's about a year older than me. I don't know. I remember this house, these trees in the house. Dad would just go out and cut down a tree. And they put all this stuff on it. Boy, it was the most glorious thing. This is in our backyard. This is a rock wall here. And, it was kind of a rough and tumble place. It was kind of a grassy one, but it wasn't really grass. It was, whatever it was.
Marysville.
Now, here's an interesting picture. This is pictured, I don't know. This is Kenny Williams.
The kid?
Yeah, this is my cousin Kenny, and she's a rector. This is me wearing my new things, and this is my grandfather, William Williams.
William Williams. And this is in Marysville?
Yep, I could take you to this place. I think this house is still standing. These other houses are not. This has probably been redone. This is that these barren hills up behind Marysville. You see that? They're still there. And that looks like me again, but I have no memory of that. But I remember this, and what I remember is how sharp that was to sit on that bumper. That bumper was like a
Straight up and down?
yeah, it was just
Sheared off piece of steel?
Yeah, that's all it was.
Well, there you go.
Bonnie Grace Rector. Okay. So they're 3 cousins. Kenny was Ralph's. That was Ralph.
Ralph and Eileen.
Ralph and Eileen. Eileen was his wife, and Ralph is mother's brother. So.
Is all this stuff on Ancestry.com, or do you have it on...
I have pretty much down there, yeah.
You need to show me where that is sometime.
Here's George.
Oh, it's your brother?
Yeah, brother George. And then if I'm 6, then he's 10 years. I couldn't be 6. I'm probably 4. So he's probably 14, something like that. This is, I guess this is that. I don't know.
Well, let's look. Let me see if any of
This is the
still
front yard. You can see we had these slats and the tree. Dad nailed the thing to
The
tree.
fence is nailed to the tree?
Yeah, and a barbed wire part of it. And then in back, this is stones. That was our back. We had the tree with the things on the front, and then there's the stuff. Yeah.
These were stones piled in your
That was the back. Go up the back, and then Wanda's house was the house behind there. It made sense in those days. Nowadays it doesn't sound too sensible, but here I am in the wintertime. I'm wearing my nice hat. This is, you can see there. There. These houses are all gone now. And I'm not sure what was on that thing.
That looked like a swing or something hanging
No,
No?
Not a swing. It's something. Here we're having Easter eggs, and here's Anna Dybek with the dog. And what's this? Oh, this is another Christmas tree. This is a different Christmas.
Pets? Some sort of book?
Yeah. Here's top.
This is a little thing to ride around on or something?
Yeah. A punching bag. That's probably...
Punching bag? Who's that for? George or something?
Yeah, I think it was George. Yeah. Looks like they're about the same thing.
Time frame?
Yeah. Like the same prints. So that was probably Christmas of '40. So that would be before the war. And Mrs. Clarence Beaver. And here I'm upset about something. I don't know what it was. And here I'm happy. And here's that's rock wall.
That's your rock wall in the backyard?
Yeah, out in the snow.
And here's you and somebody. What's that say? Clarence Beaver?
Mrs. Clarence Beaver, Shirley Wilhoit. Well,
With daughter Sharon?
Wilhoits were kind of a funny bunch. Everybody in Marysville was a funny bunch.
Uh-oh.
You have to say that. It looks like is that 3 or 4? I guess that's 3. I don't know.
Or 3 candles maybe.
That would be 1940. This is Wanda. This is Anna Myrtle Wilhoit, and I don't know who that is. That might be, I don't know, somebody.
So that's you and Wanda?
That's me. That's Wanda. Wanda's smaller than me, but she's only a year younger.
29.
1 month younger than I was. Wanda and I were pals because she lived right next door. You'll see we get a little older.
Oh yeah, there you go. Charles, Anna Myrtle, Wanda, Wabash.
Haley. Wocash.
What is it?
Wocash.
Wocash.
Yeah, it's a...
K-A-C-H?
Yeah. I think it's a Scandinavian or something like that.
That is your 3rd birthday.
Yeah, there it is. Good. Now I'm up on it. Here's Wanda. Here's another birthday.
This is Wanda?
That's Wanda, yeah. She was a nice little thing. Here's some more pictures. Here's one of Dad's Christmas trees.
Night before Christmas, and
yeah.
You guys wrapped some of the stuff.
Now here's this is Dave, Julian, and Delia.
Thank you.
And there's me and George, and
I'm curious
that's a Julian.
as to whether you think those are
That might be George. No, I don't know. But these people lived around the corner from us, and we saw them all the time. They were just funny people. And who is these people? Oh, this is Wanda and me, and this might be Jessie, but she looks awfully old for Jessie.
Oh, look.
Here's George and me sitting on a rock, probably not too far from the house, because there was exposed rocks that you can see up there in Marysville.
Oh.
There's Delia and Dave, Julian, Dad, Jazz, George, Jack, Smiggy, and John, Brophy. Brophies and Smiggies.
This is Brophy?
Brophy and Smiggy. This is probably Brophy and Smiggy. Yeah. Those are both big names in Marysville, Brophies and Smiggies. I'm glad Mother wrote that in. That's Mother's. Mother had nice handwriting. She practiced.
This is
It's like
this
the
is
4th of July.
This is your dad?
Yeah, that's Dad behind there. He was not a. Well, he was an old guy. He fought in World War I, so about this time it'd be now 1940, and he'd been wounded, and he was kind of wired together, and he was just kind of all used up, so to speak. 47, he died. He had a cancer, but then again, he used to smoke cigarettes and he swallowed the spit, and that had And I think that's what the cancer came from. Anyway,
Wanda's in her blonde little hair.
Yeah, she's a sweetie.
Our black.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
There's me. And here is Brownie. That's my dog, Brownie.
Brownie.
He was supposedly 1/4 coyote. This is me. And I think this is my cousin Kenny. And I'm not sure if that's me. It might be me, but
Looks like you.
it could be. Yeah.
Cousin Kenny. What's their name?
Williams, Kenny Williams.
See, this is why you like to cross-country ski.
Huh?
You started out young.
That's what they were. Cross country skis. That's the front yard. That's our black cat. You can see on this side. This is the mountain where the mine is. You can see there's probably, if we could interpret it, the mine is down here. They had denuded some of this, and some of this had caved in from the undermining it to get the gold out. This is, if you go up there,
Go up there on the hill there.
Yeah, all that stuff's gone.
Behind the cat.
The mine. Oh, Uncle Roger.
December 40. Uncle
Roger
Roger.
Uncle Roger was kind of the baby of the family, And so let me see him again. So, he's back here. That's Uncle Roger back there. Young guy. He probably an older teen by that time.
So that was Uncle Roger, and that's Alice Ewing.
My Aunt Alice. She's the one who lived in Denver. She'll come back and visit us occasionally. Kenny, me, and Wanda. And look at that outfit I got on.
What are you
Here's
wearing?
another picture.
You look like a
don't know.
A soldier or something.
Mother had these costumes for me.
Cousin Kenny, is that him?
Mm-hmm.
And that's Wanda again?
That's Wanda. Now it's wintertime, and that's me and Wanda again.
Kicking some snow.
And here's that same picture of
Oh, yeah.
Robin Hedblum and Sherry Longmaid and
Skinny Boy?
himself. Yeah.
And where's that?
That's on 1101 Helena Avenue, Helena, Montana. The same place that Wanda lived, part of.
Read
in
that
high
last.
school. That's Monarch Lumber Company across the street. There may still be another lumber company there. This is all where I'm standing. This is in Helena. That's all commercial now. I drove up that street, and I just was amazed. Helena Avenue is a big long street that runs off of Main Street. It goes all the way down to the railroad terminal, 6th Ward it was called. Joined up. We were halfway down there. At that time, there's just this funny little house on a big oversized lot, and that's where we lived.
So this was your address then?
Yeah, well, for a while I lived there,
Oh.
and then
Then you moved
Yeah,
to
we
Joliet
lived
or
there.
whatever?
yeah, no, we lived on Rodney for a while. Yeah, then we moved to Joliet. Lived underneath a house. Oh, and here's this deer. I told you that story.
Tell me again.
Well, we're out going over the hill, and Dad sees a deer, and they go down, and there's this deer, and the mama has left the deer, the little baby deer, sitting in there, and George reaches down and picks off a wood tick off the thing, and I thought he petted it. See, I'm a little kid, and so I petted it, and then my dad said, "No, you're not supposed to touch it. Now the mother will never come back and take care of it." So they brought it down to Marysville. They just picked the little deer up, brought it down to Marysville, and somebody took care of the deer, and they fed it. And this is a red hanky put around the neck so that people
Didn't get
will
shot.
know that it was a tame deer, and it wandered around. This was later when I got there. It was a little tiny thing. It's almost a yearling, And everybody, he just wandered around. He was kind of a town pet. And people just, see, the kids are playing, and he's looking around. He just thought it was great.
That's crazy.
And this is because little Charles petted the deer and brought it down to Marysville.
Hmm.
And I don't know who it was that who took care of it. Some dear old lady that loved deers.
Wow.
This has to be George. This is probably Uncle Johnny and Aunt Clara. This might be me. This looks like my dad. I don't know who that is back there. Here's Uncle Johnny and Aunt Clara, and that's me, I think. We're going off somewhere. Maybe driving to Butte that day. Let's see.
Why were you driving to Butte?
Oh, because it was there. You drive to Butte to do it. We didn't get all the way because Uncle John only about 30 miles an hour, and after about an hour and a half, we hadn't got there. We turned around and came back. But here we're back in Marysville now. And me and Wanda and Robin Headbloom. And here we are, the Headblooms and me. Oh, look at that nice bottle of Pepsi. Coke, yeah.
You've been drinking
And here's
Coke?
a bottle of Kessler beer. Well, I might have been, and it looks like I'm doing
got a donut.
Donut, yeah. We're out at some.
A donut and a Coke. So who's this? Do you think, or you don't know?
I think that's either Uncle Johnny. Yeah, that has to be Uncle Johnny. This is my dad, Earl.
So that's the same guy.
Same guy, Uncle Johnny Longmaid. There he is, John Longmaid, brother George, Chaz, Aunt Clara Longmaid, Jack Longmaid. Okay, that was their son, Jack.
Where? Here?
Probably him. That's probably Jack, yeah.
Yeah.
He might be the one that... Well, I don't know about that. He might, yeah.
So they would just take you places?
Yeah, well, we lived across the street from him. And Clara and Johnny. Mother was a single gal, and she had me, and I was a little kid, first grade, second grade, like that. We only lived up on I think it was first grade, 1943. War was on.
What do you mean she was single?
Oh, Dad divorced. They got divorced.
Oh, how old are you when they got divorced?
I was probably 3.
Oh, really?
Yeah. 4, I don't know. And Mother was single for quite a while.
Why?
Then she married Bob.
She got divorced because...
Well, Dad was in a lot of pain from all that stuff, and he was an ornery bugger. And he just decided that he just didn't like her anymore, and he was going to freeze her out. So he wasn't providing any wood for the wood stove. And I don't know how he thought he was going to freeze her out, and I wouldn't freeze. But somehow, Dad didn't think straight a lot. He was just an old ornery bugger. Sometimes I think I take after him a little bit sometimes. But anyway, that's what happened.
So who do you think's taking the picture? Your mom?
Could be.
So they were still around each other a lot, even after they were divorced?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. Dad come around, spend some time. These are mostly all. Here's George, and this is Daryl Wilhoit. Yeah, big old hat.
10-gallon hat.
Wanda, Kenny, and Helen. Aunt Helen was a gorgeous girl. I don't know who this is. This is Wanda. This is Wanda, a little older. And the Wilhoits. These people are mine.
So the kid down the right is Will Hoyt?
Yeah, Wilhoit. Yeah.
And this is who? Aunt who?
That's Aunt Helen.
Aunt Helen?
Her husband was Ziggy Smiggy. And their first son was
Ziggy Smiggy?
Zygmunt Smiggy.
Oh my
But he called him
word.
Ziggy Smiggy. And in town, there was Big Zig and Little Zig. Well, you have to understand that Montana is a funny place. Now, this is Dave Julian and Delia. Delia and Dave Julian. I think this house still stands. And this is me standing there, hiding behind the fence. And this is Uncle Charlie. This is, he was a cripple. You see the thickness of this shoe here?
Uh-huh.
That's.
Oh, I see.
It's that thick. He had a crippled leg, And he had a shoe store in Fairfield, a little town over there, not too far from Great Falls. And I'm in that same, you remember that suit there? That's a picture.
That's quite something.
That's sitting on Wanda's front porch. And he's there visiting. I think by that time he had this business as a shoeman, and he made his own thick shoe.
He made its own special shoes.
Yeah.
Huh.
But he made a living from fixing shoes in Fairfield.
Chalkboard, banjo.
There's a car and a Cupid doll is what it looks like. And this looks like a race car? Yeah, race car. Another car here. Apparently George liked cars.
This is a plane, isn't it?
Oh, it could be a plane. Sure.
Props?
Sure.
Hmm.
Sure. This is taken in our side yard. It's one of those, it's a Felix balloon.
the cat.
Yeah.
My nemesis.
There I'm in front yard, and apparently I'm having a fourth birthday.
And that's got a tank or something.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, the war's on.
Well, you got a bunny rabbit.
Yes, by golly.
Was that dinner at some point?
Could have been. There's that
goat.
No, that's not the goat. That's a deer. That's that same deer that we talked about.
That is? That
Yep.
looks like a goat.
That's across the street from our house in Marysville. Recognize that location. So there's the story for you. And there's Will Hoyt, Wanda, and Aunt Helen. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And that's the Empire?
Empire. I can take you there today, but there won't be that there because some creep burned it down. And you know what? I took that picture because I thought, that's who's sitting there. This is not that long ago, maybe 20 years ago. I'm just driving around and I'm saying, and here's this thing. And I said, oh my gosh, nobody's burned this one down. Well, it wasn't long after that, some creep did burn it down. But I went in it. And this up here, they come in, and this is the mill. And they use, the thing comes in here or up here, and they have these
dumps
stamp
the ore
mills.
and
It dumps in, and then the things, they turn, and it's, how does it do it? Does it rotate and it comes down? But anyways, these come up and down, and I think they're counterbalanced a little bit. Up and back of here, this would be Mount Belmont from the back end.
okay.
Above Marysville. Marysville over the hill down there. We're maybe 10 miles from Marysville here. I didn't get over here very much at all, but when I was a little older, I was going around. That's George.
This is George with your mom?
Yeah. And Mother's a very young girl. She's kind of a cute girl, actually. All those Williams girls were cute. And the others are me, yeah. Me and Wanda. Me.
That's funny that
There's
you
five.
said your cousin Wanda, and I'm like, oh, whatever, some distant cousin. But now it's like, no, you spent a lot of time with
No,
Wanda.
we did. She lived right next door.
No wonder
to me.
she had you
Yeah.
come go through all her.
Yeah, you
Huh.
know, we were pals.
Because she doesn't have any heirs, right?
She didn't have any children.
Hmm.
Okay, here's another birthday party. Here's Wanda in her swimsuit. There she is, a little kid. She's just a cutie. Now that's at one of those picnics,
Up at
probably
Marysville?
down by Dog Creek. I think is where we had these. They had some places they could go down there. And I think this guy, this weird hat and all that, I think that's my dad. That's the kind of stuff he'd wear. And that might be me on one of my uncle's laps. I'm not sure. And these other people
Who knows?
got me. I don't know. Maybe Mother said something about it. Now, we're in Helena, and I'm on 3rd Street, and this is, I'm not sure who that is, but here I'm 6 now. And either this house or the one next door is the one that Aunt Clara Longmaid lived in.
The one right behind you? Okay.
Yeah, here I'm on this is the same street. This is 3rd, and that's Blake going down same, and I'm wearing this funny old cap that looks like a football thing, but it isn't. It's just a cap. And there's cousin Wanda. She lived fairly close there. Here's a car, and next street over. That was the winner. It was a good winner. Here is Roger. He's in the Army.
Roger. Who?
Roger Williams and his brother Charlie.
This is the guy with the
This
leg.
is the one that was had a bad leg, and they're in our front yard. This is the house. No, wait. This is in Wanda's yard, because here's the thing here. And this shed, this is all torn down now, but this shed used to, when Dad's shed, he had all the stuff in. This is the street across the front. Now, some of these pictures we took before is this thing here, and this had a little gate here. But one time, George had a couple of goat. He had at least one goat in there, and he was milking this goat, and it was a mess.
So this,
I couldn't eat it, couldn't drink the milk because it wasn't. I think the goat was eating weeds and stuff.
oh, so it tastes awful.
Yeah, it was terrible stuff.
So Wanda's house is on this upper area.
Yeah, it's just a step up above it.
And this was the shed on your property.
Yep, that's it. And right back in here, if you go any further, there'd be an outhouse right here. So your house was here, and you'd walk across here. Dad had put a couple of planks along. You'd walk along the planks, and then the outhouse was right in here. And you walk past this thing. This was a door going in. And on this fence somewhere, I've got the big. You won't see it here, but it was either in that thing or on the surface of it's a thermometer. I've got it outside. Montana, state of Montana cigars. I think Dad got it from one of his Mason friends or Masonic friends or something. And again, you see the background is that mount above Belmont, not Belmont, Drummond, whatever that mine was up there. Oh,
Drumlumond.
Drumlumond, that's what it was.
So when you were in Marysville, it was always an outhouse. There was
never had an toilet. Nope.
Was there?
We had water.
Was there water inside? Yeah.
We had water, but we had to pump it.
Right inside the house?
Yeah, you had a little pump on the thing and pump it a couple of times. The water was right there. Later on, maybe we did have some water. But here's the thing. It was wooden pipes. And the guy who put it in, and it worked for many years. But then the wooden pipes kind of cracked, and it was gone. So it's gone now.
So you weren't pumping from a well, you were pumping from like a...
Yeah, just getting the water out of this pipe. I don't know. It's funny the way it did. They might have. I don't know what they did, but I'll tell you one thing. Right over here, they dug a great big thing and they put up a septic tank. Not a septic tank, but a cesspool. And so right there, but it wasn't. It was just the water from the sink.
Okay.
But it was about 8 feet deep, and they were digging it one day because they had to get rid of that water somewhere. And so Dad dug that thing down there.
So your house is just to the right here?
Yeah, it's just on that side. But
so Roger Williams is who now?
Well,
your mom's brother?
Yeah.
Okay.
And these are both brothers.
Oh.
And naturally, I'm
this
here.
This one's Johnny?
No, this is...
What's his name?
This is...
No, we'll look on the back.
We're at a cemetery, and this is me. And this is during the war. I'm wearing a little... little kids wore
You
things.
look like a little soldier.
Little soldier. This is Aunt Claire, and this is Longmaid. What's her name? Belle. B-E-L-L-E. Belle Longmaid.
Belle Longmaid. Did you guys know this smells her? Or is that just you just parked there?
No, that's just there.
You were there at the cemetery visiting maybe some of their relatives?
Yeah, somebody. They took me along.
Charles Williams.
Yes.
And Roger Williams.
Yep.
Charles was the one with the bum leg.
Yep. Charlie.
All right.
There's me again.
Pictures of you.
Me again.
These are all sort of in order, looks like.
Yeah, it could be. This is it. This is in Helena. Here's me and this is Anders. He lived across in there.
You're on the far left?
Yeah, and this kid, I don't remember his name. I think his folks worked for the Salvation Army, and who she is, I have no idea.
Anders? Really?
Yeah, Jerry Anders. I knew him.
Oh, last name Anders.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, these are out of things, because this is back in Marysville, and this is, I'm a little kid here.
What's
in
this?
Marysville.
Oh, it's a light. Or something. What is it? It's got to be a light.
It's light. Something off of a ceiling fan or something. They might have clipped it on there. That was a great one for just kind of hanging lights here. There I'm on. That's out in front of...
Who's that?
This is Aunt Helen. She's a good-looking gal.
Yeah.
And this is me on third. I've got
a scooter.
And I think this might have been Aunt Claire's house. This is Blake Street coming down the hill from there. And that's in third. So we're sitting on rocks or something.
44.
23, 44. So I'd be
That's
7, I
It's your birthday party.
Yeah.
Here's a nice
Okay, yeah.
colorized photo.
Yeah, we got that.
You took a sponge and.
I must be a year older here. This is me, and this is Wanda.
Well, that's you in the
And this-
tie.
yes, and this is Kenny, and this is Joyce. Joyce, we always used to call her a cousin, but I don't think she was. I think she was a friend of this. And this is 851 8th Street in Provo, Utah. That's Sister Waters' house where I lived my freshman year of college. So,
Kenny Williams, who's his dad?
his name was Ralph.
Oh.
Kenny's he's gone. I think that's my grandmother who was a come on. Oh, she's not Williams. What is she?
It says right here, Grandmother Williams.
Yeah, but what? Yeah, but it wasn't. Yeah.
Oh, but she was something before.
Yeah, before that. Yeah.
At our old place on Hill.
In Marysville, yeah, the old house. I had a big old house. Let's see. I know
There's
these
you.
people. This is Donna Downs. That might be in first grade. This is Eddie Hartman, and I can't remember her. This is Wanda. Grace Hamlin. This girl was a member of the church. There's Wanda again. There's Myron Carroll. Here's David Dale. Here's himself, and here's Myron again. Myron. Bunny Nesmith. That's what her name was. David Dale. David is. You gotta see him. He's got a great big old beard. He's a total mess. He was a pretty sharp kid in high school, but he's he lives up in Flathead somewhere. And now that I made that, that's a Halloween. Not a Halloween.
No, Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving. That's Pilgrims. Oh boy, Anna Myrtle again. Now this is 39. See, this I wasn't there because I was only 2 years of age, and this may not have even been in Montana. I don't think it was. This looks a little too. Here, let's see. Anna Myrtle, she's looking nice. Now she's
It's
a
a Montana
older.
Jubilee, though.
Okay, maybe it is. I don't know. There's Anna Myrtle with turkeys. Anna
Birthday, 41.
That'd be 4. See, Anna Myrtle would have been 5 or 6, and they wouldn't want a little kid was only 4 there. Okay, here's me, and there's Anna Myrtle. And these people are some of Anna Myrtle's friends. This is probably Haley, and this is who these people are. It'd be interesting if Mother put those names down.
Is this in Marysville?
That's out in front of our house in Marysville.
What street?
Wait a second. No. We're down the street. This is going up the hill. I didn't realize that. Yeah, I think this is Main Street or Grand or something. And our house, this thing here was across the street. It was an old house that Dad used for a garage. And what he'd do, that's where he'd string up an elk or a deer when he'd shoot them out of season. This would be what you can see our house here, and there's the tree. It was in the front yard. And
That big tall tree was in your front yard?
Yeah. Well, he used that. I think it was in the front of the area of this thing. It was across the street from our house.
So where's your house?
I think that's it right there.
Oh, just next one up.
There's a street between the two, whatever that street was.
What street did you live on in Marysville?
I have no idea.
Did it even have a name?
Probably did. I didn't know. Let's see if Mother named it. If she's got it. No, she just
1940.
she didn't know the name of it either. And again, who these people are? I don't
These
know.
are all this Anna Marie's person.
These are friends of Mother's, and that's why.
They were in the back of that book.
Yeah,
They were like separate.
they're friends of. See, that was done. See, this is the year before I was born. This is 1936. There's some big old rocks up there, up not too far from our house. These big old boulders that
In Marysville?
granite, yeah, granite boulders and stuff.